Peace. Man. Happy now. Now is the vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. I want to kind of stay in the little area of subconscious programming to a little bit. Well, be honest with you, everything, this is what it's all about. All is mind. That's one of the most important principles, one of the Hermetic principles, the laws of the universe, the laws of Jehudi, is all is mind. And I'm gonna kind of get into a little bit of like our auric field hygiene, and how we should basically how we take memory through death is by activating our Torus field and our Kundalini, and activating these things in our human body. So when that time comes to transition, you transition like, oh, I remember this, and you steering your plasma field, with ease, to wherever you gotta go, compared to where if you wasn't, focusing on these things, where you was focused on Donald Trump and being a human, and my mom and daddy died, and all these different things that you'd be traumatized, Martin Luther King marching for rights, like that's all good and dandy on the human level, but that's not what you are. You're on a human experience, but that is not what you are. So, with all these things being thrown at you to look outside your body, because it's trying to stop you from going within, and dealing with your subconscious to make your make your subconscious re-remember, because it's been programmed away from what it is. Just to allow your subconscious to remember that, hey, I'm a vibrational being, and I operate without a body. But just getting into that aspect, as well as other aspects, like a few little things that allows for our Torus field, our toroidal field. The Torus field is like that kind of like a tornado at the top, and then a tornado upside down at the bottom. It looks like an apple, as above, so below. But kind of going to speak to about like growing our auric field. Another thing, like as a person who's sensitive to energy, reason why you're sensitive to energy, because your heart's auric field is very big. And one of the ways we take our memory through death is when we practicing these Kundalini and raising chi energy in our being, is expanding our Torus field. As our Torus field expands, it's making it stronger, and in essence making it able to with its growth, and I'm not sure how to intellectualize this, but in its growth, it basically gets to a level where it could carry the memory through the transition, or through death, quote unquote. But as you do this too, like as you constantly dealing with your Torus field, and building it up and getting it stronger. Because matter of fact, have you ever seen a tornado that doesn't spin? Like, have you ever seen a tornado not spin? A tornado that don't spin doesn't exist. So again, that's basically what's happening, because as we eating junk food and watching TV and and not meditating, our Torus field slowing down. And think about it like that. Like if your Torus field, you're doing things to make your Torus field spin like this, and that's why I was trying to find a way to intellectualize it. But I use this and that. If your Torus field is spinning like this, then when you transition, you transitioning, your subconscious mind and your God self is going to be weak. So it's going to deal with what in essence, not say your subconscious mind, but your subconscious mind is going to be programmed by the conscious mind, in essence. So it's going to go to those thoughts and ideas, as far as like after transition, like, going to heaven or hell, and those little aspects, is what will bring you back here, compared to like if your Torus field spinning heavily, and then as you transitioning, you really in your vehicle, you'll be able to steer your plasma, your plasma field better as well, whenever you're working with your Kundalini and making that Torus field spin faster. And I just thought about a few as above, one as above so below aspect of like how I did a video on the shamanic anchoring and how you visualize a card coming out the top of your head and going into the center of the galaxy, which is the center of the galaxy located in between the Scorpio and Sagittarius constellation, which indirectly I made a video about that, how the center of the galaxy is also where Ophiuchus is, the quote-unquote 13th zodiac sign. So that's something to kind of look at right there as well. And that sign is like the Kundalini, it's like two snakes. And in the Bible, they got a verse about like how the snake bites at the back of the horse's ankle or whatever, but that's talking about the snakes from Ophiuchus biting at the Sagittarius, But that's again astrotheology of the Bible. But the shamanic anchoring situation is as above so below, like how you go into the center of the universe, and the center of the universe is a black hole, like a darkness. What also is black, and I hope this don't sound derogatory. It is what it is, a hole and has something black, a black hole. The female vagina, the yoni. You know what I'm saying? The yoni energy. It's like the center of the galaxy. And tying back into that. So as above, so below, just like the umbilical cord. Like when you're born, except your umbilical cord is, in that sacral chakra. Matter of fact, the Dantian chakra, in that area where the chi energy is stored. That's something to think about as well on a physical level. But just like the umbilical cord is attached to the mind, when we're born on the physical level, on a shamanic anchoring level, you're attaching that cord to the universal mind, or the center of the galaxy, So that's a cool as above so below aspect. But also getting into how like our certain practices help to make our Torus field more implosive and cause more centripetal force. Centripetal force is basically like a circular motion. The stronger the centripetal force, the more it's moving, the stronger the energy is in essence. Again, to the tornado that's spinning, and seeing a tornado that doesn't spin, you haven't seen that tornado, and you won't see that type of tornado on the other side of of this existence. You know what I'm saying? Because it don't exist if it's not spinning. But the clothing. So the less clothing we have on, the better. And you see why the indigenous vibes of why we dress with less clothes, or just in general, like people that still dealing in nature and stuff like that. They wear less clothes, and what wearing less clothes does, it gives the body ability to attract like implosive capacitance. And these capacitance is basically what maximizes our growth of our toroidal field, in essence. And matter of fact, it amplifies the centripetal force. So by not wearing clothes, you are maximizing the spin on your Torus field. And another thing that helps do that as well, or should I say, of course, not wearing a lot of clothes, or wearing as less clothes as possible. But also, if you do wear clothes, things that are made out of hemp. Hemp is the most bioactive capacitant fabric on the planet. You know what I'm saying? So it has one of the most like, and when we saying like implosive, it basically like it's closely tied to the golden mean ratio. You know what I'm saying? The golden mean ratio, or the Fibonacci spiral. The thing that proportions, our body, and also dealing like with a seed in the ground. Reason why a seed may not grow is because it, the golden mean ratio is not activated within it, or in other words, the Torus field is not activated. If the Torus field is not activated, then it's not, the tornado not spinning, it's not active or it's not living. So, you know, that's the whole vibe behind that. And again, reason why these things are important, you know, it's important to do this right now while you are in your human body, so your subconscious could know and remember, like, oh yeah, I remember we are vibrations, you know, and this is how we move outside of our physical body. And I say outside of it, you know, when we're out of the physical body, you know, and our vibration is no longer trapped within it, you know, this is how we move, this is how we vibrate. So again, that's why it's so important to have these bliss experiences, whether you're taking whether you're doing it through meditation, or whether you're doing it through, and I'm not suggesting anybody to take psychedelics, but psychedelics do help this situation, so it is what it is. And matter of fact, I'm gonna just say this is why I'm doing this, and it goes to show you where YouTube at with it, as far as they're making it hard to speak on psychedelics, you know. So you kind of get an idea of what really helps and what don't. When certain people don't want people to talk on certain situations, it's like that can help people. It's like message, you know. But that's why the meditations, the psychedelics, you know, the visualizations of envisioning your Torus field and you're envisioning your Merkaba spinning around, you know, envisioning that top, which it may be different for men and women, but like I picture my top tetrahedron spinning clockwise, and the bottom tetrahedron spinning counterclockwise. For females, it may be the top one counterclockwise and the bottom one clockwise. Don't quote me on that, I'm just going with the information as I go. But you know, all these things are important to, you know, taking your memory through death, or, you know, through your transitioning situation. Now, another thing that throws this off, metals, especially steel and aluminum, disrupts the body's, you know, capacitance. Matter of fact, I'm speaking on that. That's one thing I like to do, which I probably look up capacitance and put it in the details under this video, because I do like to, you know, define certain things. Because even myself, I wanted to define it more for myself as well, but I just hopped into this video, and it is what it is, you know. We'll learn together. But it doesn't take away from what I'm, you know, speaking on. But the metals disrupt the body's capacitance, and capacitance, again, how the clothes disrupt the capacitance as well. The capacitance is what help help amplify the centripetal force or centripetal motion of the toroidal field, you know, spinning that tornado strong and making that auric field bigger. You know what I'm saying? Allowing for us to take, you know, memory through quote unquote death. But the metals, aluminum and steel. So that's why, you know, you ever seen them building a road or putting down concrete, and they're putting these steel beams, you know, in the concrete, you know, to like hold a frame together, whatever, to hold a frame together. You know, but these steel beams, especially being under the feet, you know what I'm saying, where we trying to get rid of negative energy and let it go, you know, go out the feet, but then you got something, in essence, disrupting your energy field under you, you know what I'm saying, so that's going to throw off your Torus field, you know, like being, standing on concrete, and also being in certain buildings, you know, a lot of buildings built with steel and all this aluminum. That's another thing why I always bring up with the hospital. The two most important parts of you being on your earthly experience are coming here, or I just say two of the most important parts on your physical or human experience is when you come here and when you leave here. And since, you know, through us not stepping up to the plate in our past lives, we done allowed certain people to create a situation that is unbeneficial to our souls via this hospital situation, where, you know, the two most important parts of you, again, when you come in here and when you're going out, they got you in a hospital around all this steel, around all these computers and different energies that's going to throw off your toroidal field, you know what I'm saying? So that's one of the strategies behind that whole situation, even down to, you know, and it's something simple. As a matter of fact, and and while I'm speaking on this, because I always like to bring people to the source of the information that I get this from, Dan Winter on YouTube. We'll look up his channel, Dan Winter, and he go more in depth into like plasma implosion and neg entropy, and and just basically the hygiene of our torus field, heart coherence. And I did videos that touched on this in the past, and even when I did those videos, I always brought up the Bridger name, because again, that's why I learned the information from him. Definitely if you want to go more in depth, but just so I could tie it into all the other things that I'm speaking on, and just because it's useful information in general. But the coins, money, you know what I'm saying, like your quarters and pennies and all that, just are made out of certain metals that are not beneficial to our torus field. That's probably why they stopped making pennies, because I think at one time pennies was probably fully made out of copper at one time, but now it's just probably barely coated, or if it has any copper in it at all at this point. But the coins in your pocket throw off your torus field as well. So it's all the different little situations that they're trying to get you away from your true being, and throw off your torus field, throw off your energy in that sense. But that's basically the forgot about that part. So other than the clothing, that's another thing to get to. Which this is something y'all all know. I want to share, just in general, like how they got like kids in Finland, the schools, and I don't know if it's all over Finland or certain schools, but the schools in Finland allow the kids to take off their shoes, where they basically being able to walk barefooted on the earth. You know what I'm saying? And think about that, and you wonder why people look at America like, bro, you motherfuckers crazy. Like they get, like, you see tourists come out here, they do look like, oh, these fools is crazy. Almost how it was ironic, or I was gonna say oxymoronic, but it's ironic is how America would look at North Korea or somewhere else like, oh yeah, look at them fools, this and that. Or look at them fools in the bushes, oh, they ain't civilized, this and that. But when it's all said and done, who's really uncivilized is the people who've been tricked subconsciously to think that they're civilized. So the kids in Finland having the schools where they're able to walk barefoot, so they benefit. So their energy, their plasma field is going to allow it to implode better. Matter of fact, and you become more of a what they call a shareable wave. You know what I'm saying? And too, so that's why when we raise our vibration, in essence, we're able to have that telepathic connection more. You know what I'm saying? More of a shareable wave. The more your plasma implodes, the more centripetal force, the torus field grows, get bigger. So with being barefooted, with wearing less clothes, or if you're wearing clothes, wearing hemp clothes, dealing with crystals, quartz and tourmaline, piezoelectric, piezoelectric meaning like when you touch or tap a piece of crystal quartz, it sends an energy surge out through the crystal itself, but also the energy moves in the form of like almost like so the DNA strand is piezoelectric as well. So in essence, the quartz, and that's why quartz helps for dealing with the integrity of the DNA and helping activate certain things in the DNA, because it's piezoelectric and has that same electrical motion as the DNA has. So another thing as well. So the steel pipes, again under the floor, walking over the steel concrete, stuff like that. It's going off our toroidal field. Just reading, making sure I basically spoke on everything. oh, and bam. So this is the little thing, how I say, intellectualizing the fact of, you know, the Torus field being bigger in essence, but immortality is the perfect echo. As a matter of fact, the perfect echo mean, you know, like, you know, some echoes out, so, you know, the energy you're giving off echoing out, you know what I'm saying, in essence. So immortality is the perfect echo, making the waves of your plasma field so big that it could remain recognizable and maintain its size through time. So, you know, the Torus field just becomes so big, you know what I'm saying, that it remains recognizable, and it also maintains its size through time. So, you know, that's another reason. Because, say for instance, if you got a weak toroidal field, again, like if, you know, tornado belly spinning, like, matter of fact, think about it like this. You know how they had them little dust storms that kind of come around you, you know, and you could probably swipe your hand through it and stop it, you know, compared to where if you was around a tornado, you couldn't even get close to it, you know. You can't stop that in, because, you know, it's that big, it's that powerful, it's that strong, you know. Gonna take more than just a little hand swipe if you could even get close enough to a tornado to swipe your hand at it, you know what I'm saying? So, again, and I'll say the phrase again. Immortality is the perfect echo, making the waves of your plasma field so big that it can remain recognizable and maintain its size through time. So it's so big, you know, be able to recognize it through time. And another thing I thought about while I was just speaking to the kids, speaking about the, you know, the kids in Finland, and how, you know, these people got the, and you see, so knowing what's up, like making sure their kids is in an environment that's beneficial to their soul, not to their ego and intellect and subconscious mind, like on some, oh, well, you know, yeah, I went to school and I got this 1 degree of knowledge, you know, and so I could brag on, you know, I got my little piece of paper, and my intellect and my ego and my, you know, and my piece of paper, my intellect, my ego, you know. That's the whole little vibe with that. But what I was gonna say, building a charter school for the kids where they could be barefooted and meditate and learn about chakras and the hermetic principles, things of this nature, you know what I'm saying? Because again, it's all about dealing with ourselves first and foremost. But after we deal with ourselves, as we branching out, you know, we got certain little things we came down here to do, and some of us want to, you know, build schools or certain restaurants or deal with music on a certain level, you know, to benefit, you know, help to benefit the reflections outside of yourself as well. Because that's a thin line, because I tell people, you know, first and foremost and at the end of the day, it's really about just raising your own vibration, you know, getting yourself right, and again, being the change that you want to see, then the rest gonna fall in place, you know what I'm saying? But if it's a part of your path and your growth to, you know, want to start a school or some of that nature, you know, create a school that's gonna benefit the soul, you know what I'm saying? Like the soul of the people. So, you know, a little school where the children are able to walk bare feet, or barefoot, however, you know, however you say that. But allow for the children, you know, to be grounded, to meditate, to learn about chakras, to learn about subconscious programming, you know, to learn about the Torus field and all, you know what I'm saying? Like, but honestly, the most important thing is programming that subconscious to know, you know, that you are more than just a human, you know. That's the first and foremost. You know, reprogramming that subconscious mind to really know what's going on. So that's basically it. Yep. That's it. Talked about the oil field growing. Cause I just wanted to touch on it because again, this is one of them subjects where I know I have done a video on it, but just retouching on the information, kind of a little bit of added information to it, and a little bit of an added perspective. Because a lot of these things, where I know for sure where I'm constantly learning, constantly growing. So I may have came across it, and did the video a while back and was had a different delivery of the information, as far as because I had a different amount of information on it, or my perception was a little different at the time. So another reason why I may revisit certain information. But taking that memory through transition or death. Say transition, but taking it through death. There's no such thing as death. Nothing dies. This is a never-ending story. And for some people, I ain't even gonna say it. Oh well, I keep it real. For some people, that may be depressing, but it is what it is. We all got different perceptions on how we view things. And what's one man's God is another man's devil. What one woman's God is another woman's devil. Woman or man, however can't forget about the women. That's basically it. Matter of fact, what the things that will help too. What dealing with the org field, just to leave off on that note, it helps of course with moving the plasma after the transition situation, but also during lucid dreaming and astral travel. You'll find yourself getting better at moving around and maneuvering during those situations as well. The more you increase the centripetal force of your torus field and make that tornado spin. That's it. Peace. Happy now. Now is the vibrate. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now.